So Banggood have sent me the small pepper, it's called, the Eachine E013, and it's a sort of all-in-one starter pack for flying FPV. You get your goggles, you get your little quad, and you get your transmitter as well. So nicely boxed up, nice little Prezi actually. It just feels like a sort of shoebox size stuff, which is, when you see what's inside here, you'll realise why it's like a little shoebox. Because everything inside is tiny. Literally everything. Really well packaged, really nicely done. The goggles are the things that are making the box actually so large, even though it's a tiny box. So let's get this all out and have a look. Okay, so this actually comes in two flavours. You can have it as the full FPV one, so you get the goggles and everything, which I'll show you in a second, or you can just buy it like this. The difference in price is about £23 at the time I'm doing the review. So we'll see whether the goggles are worth 23 quid or whether it's worth putting some extra money towards them to buy some better ones. So you have got the option of buying it either way. Nice little transmitter, and it's actually, unusually, they've put long sticks on it, which is really nice. And these are actually metal, and again, that just feels a little bit better in the hand than the plastic ones. They are seriously long. It's still a little tiny transmitter, so we're gonna struggle with our hands. If you got, I haven't got big hands, but if you've got sort of adult sized hands, kids will probably find this absolutely super, I'm sure. And you've got nice grips on the top, being the metal, a little bit better sort of thing. It does give it a little bit of feeler quality. It's obviously a toy grade transmitter, and it takes 3 AAA batteries that they don't supply, so you will need those. Onto the actual quad itself, nice little, I mean, Eachine do great little ducted fans, quads. As you can see, you get a spare set of props, but they're really quite difficult to break, the props, because the ducted fans protect them really well. Great little indoor flyers, and if it's calm outside, they're great outdoor flyers as well, so they're really a good bundle of fun. You've got a 1000-line TVL camera there for the VTX, and there's your little antenna on the top there, so, and that's hardly likely to damage. This thing is so light, even with a battery on board, and we can get replacement batteries as well. Yay, that's brilliant. This is a 200 milliamp hour single cell battery, as you can see. You get the little charger with it as well, so you just plug that into the mains, into your computer. You can charge it in the car, or I use a power bank when I'm out and away. Just plug it in, charge it up, and away you go. Done a video on the power banks and how I use them for charging up loads of my RC stuff, and I put a link down in the description for you. So it's got 6mm brush motors, so for the money I think they're usually pretty good value, but we'll see how this one gets on. You got your little stickers, so you can personalise it and turn it into your little pepper devil. Or it comes in the, I wouldn't call it expensive, it's £50 for all this, like I say, at time of review. And you get the goggles as well. Now these are the little VR006 from Eachine. I've not tried these. They've got a little small 4:3 screen in there. I think they're going to be really good. They're tiny in comparison to all my other goggles, I must admit, and really lightweight. I put the weight down the bottom there for you. So, what I'm going to do, get the batteries on charge. Oh, by the way, this one charges up. It's got a single cell built-in battery, and you charge it up with a USB adapter again, and it's through a micro USB here. And you also get the little rubber duck sort of stick antenna as well for it. So this, I think, is going to be a nice little package. You're looking forward to flying it. Let's get those batteries on charge. Okay, onto the instructions, which seemed really tiny, and I've had some issues with instructions with different manufacturers and Eachine as well. But these, I thought, we'll see how they go. It folds out, and then out again, and out again, and out again, and it comes into this massive, great sort of map size thing. And they are superb. I must admit, they're absolutely brilliant. All in one language. On this side, you've got all about the quad itself, even setting up to change the frequencies on the VTX. You've got a breakdown of everything identified and called. You've got all your channels down, all the controls on your transmitter, everything you could possibly need, to be honest. They've put in the instructions. Really good. I know most people won't read them and they'll be up and flying straight away, but honestly, if you were new to flying, this thing will take you through everything. It just explains everything really nicely, and I'm impressed with it, totally impressed, as you can see. Then you turn it over and you get all about the goggles, so the setups and sizes, everything is set up, and even got graphics showing you altering the saturation, the contrast, etc. Really nicely done. Well done, Eachine, you've done it. So just pop the top off the quad, the sort of body off the top, 2 little screws, and you get the little Phillips screwdriver to take it out, and that's literally all there is to the assembly on this to get in. And you've got the VTX in there, and the reason I've just done this is if you needed to change the channel, if you had loads of mates and you're all out at the same time and you needed to change the channel, the button's on the top of the VTX. I'm not going to bother sliding it all out because it would be a fiddle to get it back in. I'm just showing you. And it's a 40 channel VTX as well, so you can change the channel and the band by long or short presses. I can see no reason why you would if you're like me and you're just more or less flying on your own, or let your mates change theirs, you just carry on flying. And that's it, really. That's all there is to it. That's the only thing you could really alter on this if you needed to. I really don't see any sense in it. But they say this is an ABS plastic, and it does seem pretty sort of durable. So I will put it through some extensive tests, I'm sure, with my flying. So. And onto these goggles. They're tiny, as you can see in my hand, but I've had a play with them and everything. I think they pack a pretty big punch, especially for 23 quid. They're going to be, they can hardly go wrong, can they? The plastic must cost nearly that much. You get the stick dipole antenna, you just simply screw that in. You've got an AV in on this. I think I've got it on most of my goggles. I've never ever used it. I don't know anyone that ever does, but if you need it, it's there. You don't get the cable for it. I think it's a 3.5mm jack and then out to your AV, however you're going to put that in. You've got your controls on the side here, and it's inbuilt battery, as I said before. To turn it on, you simply hold this down for a couple of seconds, and then the screen goes live. If you want it to scan for the frequency, obviously the first time you use the quad you probably will, just quick press and then it starts scanning. It picks up the channels really well, but if you want to do it manually, you can do it manually by using these 2 buttons here, and it just takes it up one at a time sort of thing, so you just flick through them with the plus and the minus. If you want to alter anything on it, like I say, I've had a play with them, they seem really good to me. But if you want, you've got a limited menu on here, simply press that, and then you can alter the brightness up and down, you can alter the saturation or the contrast up and down, and you can change it from the feed in from the FPV to the AV is the only other thing you can do in the menu, and that's, to be honest, all you need to do. The charging, as I said, is micro USB there, and what I do is whenever I'm flying, doesn't matter whether it's FPV or anything, I always have these power packs. I've got a couple of these with me, and I've done a review and the different ways I use these down, and I'll put a link down in the description there for you. Simply plug that in, or you can plug it into your mains adapter, or you can plug it in your car or your laptop, whatever you want. Just simply pop that into there. You get a red LED. You can actually see it easier, I think, through these vents here, but I think the idea is that you watch it down here, and it's red when it's actually charging. When it's fully charged, it goes off. And that's all you need to do really with it. It's quite simple. The nice thing about using the power pack is I use a longer cable, pop it in my pocket, and then this is keeping this live all the time, so I could literally run this for days if I needed to. When I say I've played around with it, I have played around with it, because I've actually added the glasses, and these I've had to do this on all my goggles. I've got various sets of goggles now that I've reviewed and have bought, and every single pair I've had to do this on. That's purely because of my eyes. But I get them from the pound store in the UK, or you get them in the dollar store. They're just purely reading glasses. I cut the arms off and I just pop them in, usually hold them in with a little bit of hot glue, and then I can always take these back out if my mates want to have a go with them. It's purely for my eyes, like I say, but with these on, I'm seeing every single pixel absolutely clear as anything in there, so I'm really impressed with them. So batteries are all charged, I'm off for a flight. These are really small goggles. This is, I would say, more a sort of normal size pair of goggles. As you can see, there's quite a fair difference in size and weight as well. And then also you get the box goggles like this. So, I mean, I could actually put these inside here. That's how small. Okay, it's quite windy out in the garden at the moment, so this is probably not the best time to give it a flight. But I'm just going to give it a go with flying it line of sight. So that basically means I'm not going to use the FPV. I'm literally going to fly it as I can see it. Quick run through the actual transmitter and the quad as well. So you put the quad on first of all with this one. I found a better way of doing it. So just pop it on there, you get the little flashing LED at the back, and then that will go down to a slow pulse in a second. So put that down there, hopefully you can see that, and then I'm going to pop the transmitter on, and there we go. Now we've gone down and this LED's gone solid. So, and then up and down with the throttle,
and that binds us and we're ready to go. Quick run through on the transmitter. So your throttle's here, so this takes it up and down. If you want it to turn to the right, you push it that way. Turn to the left, go that way, so it literally just turns like that. And this is your forward pitch, so this goes forwards, backwards, and then it goes to the right and the left, and that's normal flight. So you'd be where the camera is basically is front of the quad, so the front is always forward on the quad. So if I press forward now, it will go that way. If it's coming towards me and I press forward, it will come towards me. So that's in normal mode, I would call that. If you want to put it in headless mode, you simply press this button here, and then you get the LED starts flashing. And now the way we set that up was everything was facing that way when I bound to it. So now forwards on this stick here is always that way, backwards is this way, right and left. Now that's normal with the quad facing that way, but where we're in headless mode, no matter what angle the quad's at, if I press forward, it's always forward away from me and back towards me and right and left. So it doesn't matter what orientation it is, it will go that way. And the sticks are proportional, so you can do it you know, an obscure angle there and it will run off at that angle, but in headless mode it will always go at that angle from where you are. Not a way I usually fly, I just do it to show you on the reviews, but not one I really like. And as you can see, you've got that flashing LED until I press the button again, and then it will come back to normal flight. You've got a return to home button here, press that one, it will come roughly back over here. There's no GPS on it, so it doesn't really know where home is. And to be honest, this thing, you ain't going to fly that far away anyway. And if you're noticing spots appearing, yes, it's actually starting to spit with rain. Hey, this is the Highlands of Scotland. This is what we get. You've got 3 rates on here, so 3 speeds, so it starts in low rate. If I press it once, you get 2 beeps, that's the second rate. Press it again, it'll be 3 rates. High rate, sorry, or advanced they call it. So that means it goes a bit faster basically, and the pitch and the roll will actually be a lot stronger, so it would fight against the wind or anything. If you press it again, it comes back round into low rates and through again. To flip, you press this one and then it flips. I've had some trouble, so I've played around with this indoors, sort of checking it all out for you for the review, and the flip button doesn't always work. I think it's just a bit of a loose connection, just on my one, just the way it is, sort of thing. These ones here are trim buttons, yes, for the actual controls, and there's loads of videos out there on that. If you've had an accident and it is not flying quite right, it keeps drifting in one direction and it's not the wind or anything doing it, you can calibrate the gyros by pulling the 2 sticks down and to the right, and you get a beep off the transmitter, you get a flashing LED, and that means the gyro's calibrated. So that needs to be on somewhere level. So let's just go for a flight and see how we get on. So there we go. So the breeze has dropped down, which is really lucky, and you can see that's flying quite nice. No altitude hold, but of course you can set it roughly at one level and it will stay there. And this is a lovely little, you know, precise little flyer. It's so tiny. That's at full pitch in low rates, and the yaw's quite rapid on it. So that's in low, that's up into intermediate, and as you can see, it's a little bit faster. So there's the pitch, and then that's high rate. So now I'm going to probably keep it in high rates because it's a bit more fun. And you can either fly this pinching or thumbing, it's called. So, whoops, there we go. Oh, we've got flashing LEDs. That might be because I was busy talking when it was all powered up. So I'll see how much flight we can get in. So the first thing I'm going to try is see if I can manually flip this thing. Oh yes, we can. Oh yeah, no problem at all. So we can manually flip it, even if we can't flip it with a button. Yeah, see, I sort of get the beep sometimes. I have managed to flip it indoors. It's not going to do it again. Let me show you this headless mode. So I'm going to press it in headless mode, and then I can turn it that way and still pull it back, as you can see with the controls. So right is always that way, no matter what way the quad's facing. Right is always going to be that way. Left is that way, back towards me and away from me. I'm going to turn that off. Return to home, we'll try that. It's coming sort of over there really, and it does it nice and slow. You can cancel it with the direction stick again, and it's constantly going back that way because that breeze, like I say, is a little bit on it there. So if I put it in low rates, it probably won't even. Well, I can just about cope with that breeze. Let's pop it back up in high rates. I just want to flip it. It's a lovely little flipper. Oi. And the thing about this is it's perfectly safe. You're not going to do any damage at all. As you can see, ducted fan ones work really well. Probably, there we go, whoop bonk, and all it'll do is just keep going basically. So You can fly it through things as well, or you can just hit things. I was just demonstrating how well it recovers. And you can hand launch or hand catch, and the way to stop the motors is just literally bring the throttle off. Where it's not altitude hold, you don't even have to hold it off, it will just stay off. So you can hand launch, just throw it. Whee! Actually, if you want precise, if you keep it in low rates, you'll have a bit more control over it. There we go. So great little flyer, as per normal with the little Eacheens. Whee! Shall I do the joke? Oh yeah, go on then. This is my step ladder, my real ladder. Left me when I was only very small, so... Oh, there we go, batteries are gone. Oh, see, even the quad didn't like the joke.
So what do I think of it at the end of the day? Oh, come on, you must have got that from what I was doing with the review. You've just spent minutes watching me. This is awesome. I think this little package is absolutely great. It truly is. Sort of every facet of it as well. But I'm going to run through it all for you, just in case you want me to clarify a few things and hopefully point out some other bits and pieces. So let's start with the quad itself. Awesome little bit of kit, nice ducted fan. It's the sort of malleable, sort of softish sort of plastic. As you can see, it deflects quite well. The really good thing with the quad that deflects quite well is it gets out of the way when it bumps into things. It's a lightweight anyway, it's never going to go that fast. And all the bashes and everything that I've done with it, not a mark on it. And I haven't even broken these little stays. And they tend to break on the bigger, faster quads because of the impact speed. So this is really good. I mean, good for a beginner or good for anyone that just wants to take it out and about and just have fun, like I shall be doing with it, I can assure you. So the camera was really good, and the FPV was absolutely superb, worked great. I haven't even broken a prop, as you can see, quite difficult to break on this sort of style with the ducted fan again. So, and no marks on the bodywork either, so really good, absolutely superb. The battery itself was, I was only getting 3.5–4 minutes actually of flight, and it takes about 3/4 of an hour to recharge, so that can be a little bit of a pain. And it's a 200 milliamp hour battery. Now I've found some other batteries that don't have this connector. I'm never too sure what this little one's called, but what fits into the connector on here, on the actual bodywork itself on the quad, is the lossy micro one. I always push it into those slots, but do make sure it's round the right way. I've actually had these wired round the wrong way, so just make sure that the way you're going to put it into the quad is the way that the main battery goes that you got with it. So look from camera angle, it's on the left is the red, and just make sure that's on the left as well. So, and then I've just pushed them into there. They go into the slot quite happily usually. I bet I can't do it on camera now. And then you just line them up and just push them in. There we go, and we've got the flashing LEDs and that. Now I can't get access to my little ones. I've got some small ones that are 220 on these, so I've just showing you on this larger battery here. It couldn't possibly carry the weight of this, by the way, but you can buy 5 220 milliamp hour ones and a charger that charges all 5 at once for about 10 quid. So I'll put a link down in the description for you to that. I would definitely highly recommend when you order this, you order that, and then you've got loads of flight time, and you can charge them all up at once, which is a really good move, I think, anyway. So really nice, love the quad, and it was just good fun, wasn't it, eh? And the FPV works really well, so that's good. On to the transmitter itself, and transmitter works okay. Yes, I would prefer it to be bigger, you know, but at this price, this is absolutely fine. And it's actually great for transporting around as well. They have had a bit of a thought, and they've put longer sticks on here, and they're metal as well. They just feel better in the hand if you're a pincher or a thumber. Or I'm tending to actually, sometimes I'll be flying actually on fingers, top of the fingers. It's just a weird way I seem to be doing it lately. But I get a little bit more feel with it. The throttle is a bit loose on it. but it's a, you know, it's a budget transmitter, and it flies precise as anything. It's just up to you how good you are, to be perfectly honest. The buttons, I didn't have to use any of them because I wouldn't be using headless mode or anything, but they all function and they all work okay. And the 3 rates, actually nice. If you want to be really precise, keep it in low rates and you can really just feed it through anywhere, really. Really good fun. If you want to fly fast, up into high rates, obviously. And it manually flips really nicely. Another good thing to improve your skills in flying. Learn how to do some manual flips with it. Absolutely brilliant. It can't go, sorry, one thing that's all about the quad, you can't actually turn it into an acro flyer, so it's always in like stabilized mode, so it's always self-leveling basically, which is good for beginners, I think, definitely. My flip button, I still can't get it to work. It clicks, but it doesn't seem to actually do anything, and I haven't taken it apart because that's just the way it comes on my one. I'm sure it does flip. I did manage to get 2 flips out of it indoors just when I was playing around with it, and it flips really fast, so which is good. If you bought one and it didn't flip and one of the buttons didn't work, I'd just get back onto the guys that you bought it off. You know, they should replace it or get it sorted, shouldn't they? So I'm just reviewing what I got, and this is how it works. So on to the goggles. So 23 quid's worth of goggles, as far as I can see. I don't even think it's that. I think it's just over £20 worth of goggles here. They're awesome, absolutely brilliant. I had a tiny bit of light leak and just on the sides here. That was the only bit I got, and that's fair enough because all our faces are different shapes and everything, so they're never going to get it perfect for everyone. Even my more expensive, I've never bought a pair of goggles ever and just had no light leak whatsoever. Always have to do something. So I'll just put another extra bit of foam, but to be honest, it's such a tiny amount. I don't even think I'll bother. So, but just saying, nothing's perfect in this world, is it? So they are really good. I'm well impressed with them. They did really well. So well, I thought, well, I'll give them a go. They work on 5.8. I'll give them a go on a couple of my other races, and here's some footage from my other races. So you can, once you've got these and you want to move on to the bigger or better quads, or you want to move into acro flying or anything else, you can keep hold of these and keep going with them. You know, I mean, if I only had these, I could still fly all of my quads on the FPV. So I really don't have a problem with them at all. They are really good and extremely good value for money. So what do I think of it in conclusion? Oh, come on, it's awesome. I think for the money, absolutely great. Come on, bring it on. Some of the other manufacturers, let's start producing them even cheaper or at the same price and even better. Batteries are charged, I gotta fly.